Hi, and welcome to today's Wednesday webinar regarding Decision Day for high school seniors. My name is Lupe Hernandez, and I work for Iowa College Access Network. If you're not familiar with ICANN, we are a nonprofit organization. We help students with college and career planning to help them ease that next step after they graduate from high school. We offer a lot of services in our organization. So if you ever have questions on anything that has to do from career exploration all the way to funding options for college, we are here to help. This here is our contact phone number and our contact link to schedule appointments. We offer in-person appointments and also virtual appointments through Zoom. So I just want to discuss first what is National Decision Day. So May 1 is a big day for seniors. Decision Day is traditionally a deadline for determining which college a student will attend. It is a soft deadline, so it's not set in stone. You really want to contact with the colleges to make sure that there isn't a deadline of when the student would have to decide or commit to attend that certain institution. National Decision Day is when accepted applicants may be asked to sign a letter of intent to enroll. Again, some colleges might have a specific date, but for the most part, May 1 is a good general date of when students should have made their decisions on where to attend college. Now, I do want to specify that College Decision Day is different than National Signing Day, which is when high school senior athletes will sign a binding letter of intent to play a collegiate sport with a member of the NCAA. So Decision Day and Signing Day are different. Signing Day would be more associated with college athletes, and usually those deadlines might be sooner or later, depending on when the season for that sport might be. I just want to discuss a few things. For starters, has the student been accepted into a college? So as a senior, hopefully the student has applied and been accepted to a college. If not, it is very important to do that here very, very soon. There are many colleges that have rolling admissions that will accept admissions applications at any time, but it's better to get that done soon. If students have applied for admissions and done the financial aid form, have you checked to see if you've gotten an offer from the colleges? All right, so a financial offer is pretty much a document that lets the student know how much and what type of financial aid the student would qualify for. Now, if the student has applied for admissions and they've done the FAFSA and they still haven't gotten a financial offer from the school, it might be a good idea to get in contact with that financial aid office just to make sure that there's nothing that the college is needing for them to move forward with a financial offer. I always tell students, do not go into graduation day without having gotten a financial offer from the college. If you have been accepted and done the FAFSA, you really want to make sure that you are in contact with the school to make sure that nothing is holding up that financial offer. Okay, what happens if a student is waitlisted? So being waitlisted means that the student is being put in a list. They haven't been accepted yet, but if they meet the necessary qualifications and if other students decide to attend other schools, then they will be put on a list. And once space becomes available, then the student would hopefully be accepted. Students should call the admissions office to ask about these specific questions. If someone is waitlisted, what does that mean? What is the timeline? What is the likelihood, if I am waitlisted, that I will be accepted, or should you move on to another school so that way you're not missing out on potential aid from other colleges or housing options? So what if you aren't waitlisted? You can either accept or decline to waitlist. So if you get waitlisted, you can say, you know what, I'm going to move on to another school, and then, just do the paperwork, do the steps you need to do at that other institution you're going to go to, or you can accept and say, yeah, I'm gonna wait a little bit just to see if I do get in. Um, Again, if the student does not get accepted, keep in mind you might lose your deposit. So that can be hundreds of dollars. So just keep that in mind. Colleges will send out rejection letters to waitlisted students after May 1st. So keep an eye out on those emails. There's a lot of things happening right now. So just make sure that students are checking those emails to make sure that they're not missing any information from the colleges. So when selecting a college, students should be making their choices on where they're going to be attending college based on their career interest and assessment results. Students, high school students, are familiar with assessments. They have been doing this since they became high school freshmen, and more than likely they were encouraged by their school counselors to do career assessments as a junior before going into their senior year, so that way they can use that information to make a list of what colleges to visit, and this information should be used when selecting the right college. Some things to consider when deciding where to attend, of course, is the college's career pathway requirements and recommendations, cost versus financial aid. Now, some colleges might have a higher price tag than others, but just keep in mind that colleges also offer some pretty good financial aid. So just wait to see what that financial offer says and then you can decide where to, based on that offer, where the student might want to attend. Other things to consider: what the type of institution it is, the size, is it public or private, location, class size, especially for those students who have been attending a smaller high school. It might be a good idea to consider, how different it's going to be if they do attend a larger institution. If you have not done the FAFSA, please do so as soon as possible. The FAFSA did become available to file for the class of 2025. It became available to file late November, and it will become available to file again, to refile on October 1st. So if you haven't done the FAFSA, please make sure that you're going to studentaid.gov and getting this application done as soon as possible. This form is required in order to be considered for federal and state financial aid. If students are considering, or if they're going to need money to federal loans to help pay for school, the FAFSA will need to be completed. And again, if the student is being offered institutional aid because of their merit or GPA or whatever, more than likely the college will ask the student, the family, to file the FAFSA as well. And if a student is going to be attending a college in the state of Iowa aid also requires this application to be on file. Like I said, FAFSA will become available to refile, because you need to do this every year. It's not just a one-time thing. So every year you would need to do this starting in October, and you want to fill out the application before your college's priority date. So just make sure that you are aware of when this date is and that you get it resubmitted again before that date in the upcoming fall. So once you filed your FAFSA and your admissions has been, if you've been accepted, the college will process and provide a financial package. These financial aid packages are often sent electronically nowadays. So just make sure, again, the student is checking those emails, because that's likely how the student will be notified of their financial offer from the college. Review those items and respond if you need to. Like I mentioned before, some colleges want to know by certain dates sometimes, do you accept this aid? Do you decline this aid? And if you have questions, this is the time to do it. Ask those questions of your financial aid office, of your admissions office, before you decide to commit to a certain school. Also, it's important to know that the application deadline for housing and to plan and to file early. Usually incoming college freshmen sometimes don't get the first pick of housing, so just make sure that you are getting this application turned in as soon as possible. Review those choices online, and hopefully during your campus visits, you were able to see the options that you have. Keep in mind, again, as an incoming freshman, you may not get the first or even second pick. So just do not be surprised if you're like, well, I applied for this dorm, but I didn't get it. It's very likely maybe that the student is not going to get into the dorm that they would have wanted. Also consider a roommate. All right. Sometimes I've come to realize working in this job that a lot of young people nowadays, they've never shared a room in their life. They've always had their own bedroom. So having a roommate, even if it's someone they know, even if it's a friend, it might be strange, or even, if it's with a complete stranger, even worse. So what about a single room? How much more does it cost? What about an apartment off campus? Are you able to live off campus? What's the availability of apartments? What is the cost? So these are just things to keep in mind. So with housing applications, this is just an example. Many forms are filled out on the college's website, and some of them do require deposit. Some will ask roommate questions, kind of like, you know, just to ask about you, so that they pair you up with compatible people. Um, Fill out the application and be very honest. Again, you're going to be living here. This will be your home. So just make sure that you are being honest and that you are comfortable. You're going to be paying a lot of money to be living on campus. So just make sure that you will be comfortable in your living situation. Remember also that not all residence halls cost the same. So yeah, it's really convenient to have, your your cafeteria on the first floor, but there might be an additional cost for that. Look into living and learning communities. So that way you can get put on a floor with people that maybe are studying the same major as you. So you can kind of collaborate with projects, or maybe have study groups. And just, again, you're going to be sharing spaces, whether it's your room, your bathroom. So just be prepared to compromise on some things, and be prepared to experience things that maybe you have not in the past, because you've always had your own space in your home with your family. So just to recap, so have you chosen a college? All right, like I said, May 1 is a big date. Have you done the FAFSA? If you haven't, please do that. Please do the FAFSA as soon as possible. If you need help with this application, uh, please give us a call and we will be able to help you fill out this form. If you've been accepted, if you've done the FAFSA, have you gotten your offer? Have you gotten your financial offer? If the answer is no, like I said, contact the college financial aid office and see if there's any information that they are missing. And if it is, please submit the required paperwork as soon as possible. And also, have you done your housing application? Do you know where you are going to be living once you move onto campus? For more questions, not necessarily just on decision day, but anything that has to do with campus visits and college admissions and scholarships, financial aid, loans, we are here to help. So please keep us in mind as you're going through this process. We'll be more than happy to assist you in any way that we can. Thank you for joining me. Have a good night.